Paying too much in fees can derail your retirement before it starts. There are a number of different types of fee structures and a number of different types of fees. Most retirees and investors in general don't have an idea of what a fair fee even is, which can often result in them being taken advantage of. So in this video, we're going to discuss 3 different types of fee structures. The first are brokers and sales charges and commissions. So this is an outdated model, still present at some firms. And what this means is you pay an upfront commission to the broker. And I don't call them an advisor because that's not really what they are. So let's say I buy this mutual fund that is an A-share. Let's say it's a stock fund. Something called a sales charge, which comes out of your pocket, that you pay up to 5.75% up front. So day one, you start this investment, you're down already almost 6%. And so how long is that? It may take you a full year before you can make that fee even back up. And that broker doesn't care because they got all that fee at once. And then let's say 2 years down the road, you decide you don't even like this fund. You're like, all right, let's go to another fund. The broker says, great, put you in another fund where you pay another 5.75%. So this rolling average over time, you're paying a ton in fees. You're paying a ton in commissions. And at the same time, that's not all, because those funds then also have an internal annual fee. So you're paying an upfront sales charge, and then on top of that, you're paying an annual fee to be in that fund. Fees on top of fees on top of fees. Now, thankfully, this model has pretty much died out. There are 1 or 2 major firms who still operate on this model, but they are effectively behind the times. But it's important to understand and keep an eye out for, is this an A-share they're trying to put me in? Am I going to pay a huge sales charge that is going to really put me behind the 8 ball? Because the other aspect of that is conflict of interest. If that broker puts you in this investment and they get a 5.75% up front, what is their incentive? Their incentive is to put you in this investment and then rather quickly down the line say, oh, that's not right for you anymore. Let's go into this other one. So they're churning you basically. They just keep putting you in new investment after new investment because that is how they get paid. Where you and your advisor need to be on the same page. And what I mean by that is they should make more money when you do better, rather than making more money just by putting you into a new investment, because that creates the problem of churning. What is churning? Churning is the act of trading for trading's sake in order to generate revenue. And that's not good. That's what we want to avoid. So that is the first type of fee structure that some will pay. The second, this isn't so common, but this is more for people who like to do it themselves, is just fee for service or fee for plan, where you manage all your own yourself. You pay just for a plan, you pay them a planning. This one niche, it's not so popular. The reason for that is I know a lot of advisors who have started on this, and what they've effectively said is most of my clients wanted me to manage their assets. So I was offering a service that they didn't even really want, because a lot of people, they don't have the time or they don't have the expertise to constantly be monitoring and managing their own investments. And so they're being charged for a plan, but what good is the plan if the investments are behind the times or not being monitored? That brings us to the third type of fee, which is the advisory fee. And this is newer, but it has become the most popular type of fee because it is often framed as being a fiduciary, which all that means is you're legally obligated to act in the best interest of the client. And why does that apply to this fee title? With this fee, you're charged based as a percentage of your assets under management. If your account goes up, then your advisor makes more. If your account goes down, that advisor is taking a pay cut as well. So obviously you want your account to go up, but your advisor is incentivized to grow your account as well. There's no alternate incentives like having a trading fee or a planning fee or an appointment fee. literally the only incentive is to grow the account for the client, because you both win. That doesn't mean there are no downsides to this, though, because like in anything else, there exists a range of fair and reasonable fees, and there exists an area of fees that are considered to be predatory. So, generally speaking, what's an acceptable management fee per year? Obviously, that depends on how many assets you have. So, someone who has 10 million, a fair fee is going to be 0.8%, 0.6%. Someone who has 500,000, 1.2%, 1.25%. That's the higher end. That's the range of the fair fee. At the same time, though, there are people out there who will charge you you got $200,000, they'll charge you a 2% advisory fee because you don't know any better. You don't know that there exists a fair fee out there. And here's the other kicker. That's their advisory fee, but then inside of the account, there are often hidden fees. Because if they're charging you an advisory fee, and then they're putting you in mutual funds, or some ETFs, that then have an annual fee of 0.6, 0.8, 1%, now they're charging you 2%. But then you're in a fund where you're paying 2.5%. Now you're paying 2.5%. Now all of a sudden, you're not in really much better of a spot than the original example where you were getting charged a sales charge and getting turned every 2 years. So those are general ranges. And obviously it's important to understand the level of service being provided, because regardless of the fee you're paying, we believe you should be provided with an advanced level of planning. So that's tax planning, estate planning, investment planning, social security planning, all of this stuff together, because you can't really do one without the other, because if something breaks, then the whole plan breaks. I'd love to see what your thoughts are. Leave a comment in the description. I respond to any and all comments. If something in this video jogged your mind, click the link in the description. We offer complimentary consultations. We're not going to try to sell you a product. We're not going to try to do anything of the sort. If you don't want the consultation, hey, that's perfectly fine. Click and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you. I'm Tyler Nowotny. Have a great rest of your day.